All right, good morning, folks. I'm Chad Lingefelt with Loc-Doc Incorporated. Wanted to do a quick video and kind of talk about lock bumping and high security locks. So you may have seen the news story. ABC News posted it end of last week. It was also on Good Morning America, but it's been shared around social media quite frequently over the last couple of weeks, and we posted it ourselves, shared it ourselves, because we feel that it's very important to educate our customers and just the general public on security issues that are out in the public. So I wanted to talk about lock bumping today. We're doing a live Facebook video here, so if you have any questions along this video, please feel free to ask. But wanted to kind of outline it. We just recently did a blog post about this and with some more detailed information, because when lock bumping is discussed, the topic is discussed, there's one need for definition of exactly what it is, and then you start hearing about high security locks, and high security locks, what does that mean? You'll start hearing things like UL 437 or ANSI or BHMA certifications and gradings, and all that is kind of Greek to a lot of folks if you don't exactly know what it all means. So our goal here today is to kind of break that down for you on a simplistic level and just give you some additional education on it. So number one, lock bumping is very prevalent. The information is all over the internet. You can find it very easily by searching lock bumping or key bumping. You can find it real easily on the internet and YouTube, and specific instructions on how to create them. You can order key bumps or keys that are already created for lock bumping and key bumping. You can buy all the tools and get all the tools. You can make all the tools. It's very easy. Now here's the situation. Lock bumping, here's the facts with it. One, it's just a simple method of key bypass. So it's going to be in the same range, same process as lock picking. So we as locksmiths go out and do service calls a lot of times because folks have locked themselves out of their house or their business, and we pick a lock to gain entry because their keys are on the other side of the door. So what has happened over time is there was a development of a key bump, which takes kind of some momentum from a key sliding into the keyway and just kind of bouncing the pins all over the place and allowing the lock to open. It's very simplistic. It's very easy to learn. It's very easy to get the information on it. It's been used by locksmiths for years. A lot of locksmiths use it as kind of a backup form of entry. Some use it as a primary form of entry, better than lock picking on some locks. So it is something that's been prevalent. It's been used for quite some time. They're easily made, easily accessible, very easy to learn. It's a very simplistic process. And here's the situation with it. In a similar sense as lock picking for locksmiths and how we gain entry to doors that we don't have keys to, it is non-destructive. So we can gain entry to a door and not drill the door. We can gain entry and not require the lock to be replaced, because we are doing it through a non-destructive means. Lock bumping is the same manner. It's just a lot of times easier and faster than picking. And so what happens is it takes away the record of entry. So often if a lock has been drilled or a door has been kicked open, you walk up and you see the results of that. You see the broken door jamb, you see the broken door, you see the broken lock, or the drilled lock, or whatever the case may be, or the broken glass that's associated with it. There is evidence, there is information surrounding the fact that there has been intrusion into that specific door. With lock bumping and picking, there is no record of entry whatsoever, and it is very prevalent against all pin tumbler locks, which a pin tumbler lock would be something like this. This is a quick set deadbolt. It's a pin tumbler lock. There are pins inside the cylinder and springs, and that is how you can bypass that very easily with lock bumping. So that is kind of a definition of what lock bumping is and how it works and how you can gain access to it. So the question now is it relevant to me? How does it impact me? Why do I need to be concerned with it? Do I need to be concerned with it? And what can be done about it? So the first answer is yes. It is something that is very relative. It happens here in our Charlotte market. It happens all across the nation. And you may not know it. You may not see it or hear about it quite frequently, because a lot of people don't know that it happened. They just know that somehow someone gained access to their facility, to their home, to their business, or whatever, and there's no record of it. So a lot of times people think, well, somebody got a hold of my key, copied my key, which is very prevalent as well. So what can you do to stop it? And this is kind of what we outlined in our blog post about the problem being lock bumping or key bypassing. And so what can you do about it? And here's what you can do. You can upgrade your locks. You can upgrade your door and your jambs and the physical door itself if that is a weak point. And here is our philosophy at Loc-Doc. Anytime you upgrade security at one point, say you have a door, a wood door that is very thin, kind of paper thin wood door, and you go in and invest in high security locks, you are upgrading the lock portion of your opening, but now you have just distributed the weak point over to the door. So now we need to look at the door and the jamb, because a kick-in is going to only be as strong as all relative parts. So if the jamb is weak or the door is weak, the lock may be strong. You may have a high security lock on there that somebody can't pick or bump, but now they can easily kick the door in because the weakest point has been distributed out to the door and the jamb. So you definitely want to make sure the entire opening is secured. If you have glass, that has some type of a protective film on it so that it can't be shattered and easily accessed in that way. So all those things are very relative when it comes to your high security locks. It's not just the lock, it's the entire opening. That's one of the things that we focus on at Loc-Doc, is the complete opening solution. So you want to find a lock that meets and exceeds UL 437, and that is something that you're going to hear quite frequently, especially with the information that's out there now with lock bumping. Everybody says you need to find something that is UL 437 listed, and nobody knows exactly what that means. So I went in and pulled up off of LockWiki's website just a quick definition. All this information again is available on our website on our latest blog post about lock bumping and key bumping. And here's kind of the breakdown on what UL 437 means. It means that the lock has to deter unauthorized opening by one or more of the following methods. It can be bypass, so that's going to be key bumping or picking. Lock picking is one of those as well. Impressioning, which is basically forcing pressure on a key and trying to decide or determine the depth of the cut of the key. And then the last option is destructive entry with punching, sawing, drilling, pulling, or any other method that you can use with hand tools. So those specifications, to meet UL 437 listings, it has to prevent at least one or more of those. So when you hear UL 437, that's what it means. It means that it has met the standards, met or exceeded the standards to eliminate or prevent bypass, lock picking, impressioning, or destructive entry. The other part of that is ANSI and BHMA specifications. Now these are building standards, hardware standards that were created to help determine a standard of hardware for your homes and businesses. You can do more research on that by searching that, ANSI or BHMA. They're just standards that are used. They require for a grade 1 specification, which also must meet for a UL 437, that cylinders must meet all drilling and picking requirements. Now drilling, they're saying, has to prevent being able to be opened with less than 5 minutes of drilling and less than 10 minutes of picking. It also has to meet key control, meaning that the manufacturer restricts the blanks, meaning that you can't go take your key to anywhere, any hardware store, anywhere, put it in or request a duplicate key. It's manufactured restricted. The blanks are protected by law. They have some type of a patent on them so that they can't be made or generated by another manufacturer, and that there is authorization required. So those three methodologies, those three factors have to be in place with key control to help meet these grade 1 specifications for the cylinders. And then pick resistance, this is meaning bumping and picking, a minimum of 2 security pins. So 2 security pins have to be in place for it to be high security. So here's the situation. You can get a high security lock, like a medical lock, and if the particular installer removes the security pins from it, it is no longer a high security lock. It can have the shell of a high security lock, but if they have removed the security pins, then it no longer meets those standards. It needs to have a minimum of 1 bore depth designed to prevent overlifting, and meets all levels of C+ UL 437 pick resistance, which we had already kind of covered. So those are some of the specifications around what a high security lock is, what a grade 1 lock is. Again, all this information is on our blog post if you want to go in and dig into it even further. We have some additional videos on there for you to reference as well. Our point of all this is we want to continue to educate you to make sure you understand what the difference between something like this is, which is this is just a simple quick set standard lock that you probably have on your home. You can see just kind of the difference of how it's made and how it's built. Not very sturdy. And then this is something that would be meeting those high security standards. This is a Medico deadbolt. This is the Medico Maxim deadbolt. It's high security. It meets all of the standards that we talked about. Just from this simplistic point, you can look at the differences between the bolts. So here are the differences between the bolts on the 2 locks. You can see that the Medico lock is more solid construction. There's the difference of the size on it. There's just a lot of differences built into the way that these locks are manufactured and built. And then there's your high security key. So this has angles on it and has a slider on the side so that it has to meet all 3 of those factors. This is a Medico Maxim deadbolt that they also have. It's called an M3 keyway. There's 3 factors functioning inside that lock to make it secure and function correctly. So that's some of our recommendations. We sell Medico. We recommend Medico. It's a great product made in Salem, Virginia. And we've had really good results with that. Just yesterday, we installed 2 Medico deadbolts on a residential home directly relating to some of this stuff. So I want to continue to make you aware of it, educate you. If you have any questions, always feel free to contact us. Our website, locdoc.net. There's live chat on there. You can contact us and ask us any question that you have. You can call us anytime, 704-554-6121. You can email us, service@loc-doc.net. That's SERV. Now I can't even spell. SERVICE@locdoc.net. Service@loc-doc.net. And ask us any questions. If you just want to call and chat and learn more about this information or be educated on that, that's what we're here for. So feel free to contact us for that. Well, folks, so we'll kind of wrap this video up. But again, more information about this is available on our website, locdoc.net. There's a brand new blog post about lock picking. It references the ABC News video that just was released last week. And it has some more information on the Medico high security locks. That's all there, and there are links to that in our Facebook page as well. Thanks for your time. Have a great day.